Yo, a lot of people online have this phrase of like, oh yeah, we don't live for girls, we live for ourselves. We don't do this thing for girls, we do it for ourselves. We don't do business for girls, we do it for ourselves. And the more I think about it, and you might believe this as well, right? The more I think about it, this is not really an attitude of a strong man. A lot of the time in self-improvement, when it comes to a crossroads, I always ask myself, what would a strong man do? When I say strong man, I picture like your grandfather's generation, where they worked super hard. And the thing is, they worked super hard, but they weren't going to work every day like, oh yeah, I'm a Sigma male, I'm doing this for myself. No, they were directly doing it for their family. That was their only reason in mind. Because if they don't work today, their family doesn't get to eat tonight. So he kind of has like the discipline that he already built. But then on top of the discipline, he also has this level of motivation provided by the people around him. The responsibility that he holds, right? And that's gonna push him way more than just saying, oh yeah, I'm doing it for myself, bro. Look at the things that you do in your day. Why do you do them? Who do you do them for? Because whether you like to admit it or not, we are doing certain things for certain people. So for example, a lot of guys don't want to admit that they lift for women, right? But the thing is, no matter what, whether directly or indirectly, if you lift, that's gonna increase your attractiveness. Increasing your attractiveness will get you women whether you want or not. Same with business. If you work really hard in your business and you accumulate a lot of money, whether you want it or not, that's gonna be inherently attractive to get more women. The same thing with status. You're gonna become famous, whether you like it or not, that fame will get you women. So since either way is gonna get you women, right, you may as well use that as an extra level of motivation so that you can achieve this goal easier. And so for the guys, whether you want to admit it or not, we are kind of doing things for women all the time. And I think that's normal. Like every single animal, imagine any animal, they don't do things for themselves. They always do it for like the reason to reproduce. So like it's normal, it's natural. This is just how we're supposed to be. Like you can just raise up your hand and say, yep, I am doing things for women. And the thing is, don't do it for just any woman, right? Don't do it for some random girl on Instagram that you don't care about. Do it for someone that's important to you. So like your future wife, for example. Build a business for your future family. Be healthy, not just because you want to be healthy, but also because you want to be able to play with your daughter when you're like 40, 50, and you don't have back pain while you play with her. Learn skills so that when you have a son, you can pass him the knowledge that you have. So like personally, I don't think the phrase should be, I live for myself. The phrase should be, I live for myself and for the people I care about. Right, so I think one good thing about I live for myself is that, yeah, don't live for people that you don't care about. Don't live for the validation of people that you don't even know. Because trust me, I can get a lot of validation just by pulling out my laptop, typing youtube.com, go to the comment section. I can see thousands of comments all validating me. But the thing is, validation is two-way. It has to be two ways. If you are validating me, but I don't even know you, I don't actually feel anything. You can have 1,000 comments, they're all super nice, you don't feel anything. If you don't actually know the person typing it, that means there is no real connection, because the connection only comes one way. It's from them to me, but not from me to them. And so you can appreciate it, you can appreciate the comment, sure, but you don't really feel it in here. So yeah, do it for the validation and for the appreciation of people that you really genuinely care about. Do it for your son, do it for your daughter, do it for your future wife, do it for your family, do it for your father, do it for your mother, do it for your grandmother, do it for your fucking goldfish. I don't give a shit. But that is the attitude of a strong man. They take on responsibility for other people, the important people in their life. Like you run a race faster when one, there's people around you that's also running the race because you want to beat them. But two, you run the race faster also when there's people that you care about at the finish line cheering you on. Find a reason that resonates with you, or find someone that resonates with you and do it for them. Have this extra level of motivation, because like, why not, right? Find something that truly, like, when you think about it, you want to kick into action. Like for me, the concept of the future wife is probably the biggest motivator, because think about it. Something I always talk about is that whoever you attract, be it friends or relationships, like, romantic relationships, they are always a reflection of who you are. So if you're fat, not to call you fat or anything, but if you're fat, unproductive, lazy, you don't do anything except play video games, you're probably going to attract someone who's exactly the same. So if I'm going to attract a future wife that's exactly the same as me, bro, I better work fucking up. If you have high standards for someone else, like for me, I don't want a girl who has X, Y, and Z, then I also can't have X, Y, and Z. And I think that's actually fair. I think a lot of people get angry at that because like, oh, you shouldn't control what people do. I'm not controlling what people do. I'm just setting the standard. So for example, I think it's fair enough if I say I don't want a girl who has colorful hair, because I don't have colorful hair. I don't want a girl who is in the party scene because I'm not in the party scene. I think like as long as you practice what you preach, I think it's okay, right? So if I don't drink, she shouldn't drink. If I don't smoke, she shouldn't smoke. If I haven't sucked any dicks, she shouldn't be sucking any dicks. So for the guys, especially if you're like a teenager and you're horny as fuck, this can be like such a big motivation for you to think of, oh yeah, my future wife is gonna be like me, so I better fucking like work hard during this time so that she's as high quality as possible. And obviously if you don't like that, you can use something else. You can use your community, you can think about your friends, think about your mother, think about your family, whatever, right? And this gets really deep actually. I've talked about this before, I think, but when you die, the things that are written on your tombstone is never what you think about yourself. It's always what other people thought about you. It's always going to be the role that you played in other people's lives. So for example, loving mother, loving father, caring teacher, priest, friend, whatever, right? But it's soldier, right? Whatever. But it's never how you felt about yourself. It's never gonna fucking say Sigma male, right? This is the thing that's gonna last after you die. So here's the practice that I want you to do. Whatever things that you have to do today, or the habits that you do on pretty much a daily or weekly occasion. So for example, going to the gym, studying, building a business, for example. Next to these things, write them down, and then next to them, write down who you can do them for, and visualize, like really visualize how this activity will benefit the person that you've chosen. So for example, visualize you building the business, making the money, and then now your mother can retire and she doesn't have to work anymore for the rest of her life, and she can kind of do what she wants to do with the freedom that you've given her. When you're in the gym, think about your future wife and you will push out another rep. When you're studying, think about your family's financial situation and you're gonna study harder and you're gonna want the better grade. So yeah, this video was kind of inspired by this quote by Eddie Hall. If you don't know who Eddie Hall is, he is a world record strongman, massive guy. This quote was after he had broken the deadlift record and he lifted half a ton. He said, "I wasn't lifting 500 kilos off the floor. I was lifting a car off my kids." And I just thought like, yeah, that's literally, he's a strong man, like strong man in one word. That's how a strong man would act. He's aware that his loved ones are his greatest motivator. He knows that this is really behind everything else, behind the Sigma male grind set. This is really why he's doing what he's doing. And so he uses this motivation, this extra level motivation on top of the discipline he already has. He uses it to accomplish even more than everyone else. So who could you do the things you do for? Do it for the people you love and take action. All right, give me a kiss.